Okay, welcome back. We are on Pirkei Avos, Perek Beis Mishnah Yud Beis. Rabbi Yossi Aimer Yehi Mamun Chavercha Chaviv Alecha Kishilcha. The money of your friend should be dear to you like your own money. V'haskin atzmecha lumod Torah. She'ini Yerusha Lecha. Prepare yourself to learn Torah because it's not an inheritance. V'kol Maasecha Yehu L'Shem Shamayim. All of your actions should be for the sake of heaven. So, the first explanation of the beginning of the Mishnah, that your money should be dear upon you as your friends, that's essentially that you have to love your friend like yourself. That's a whole discussion, how that's possible to love someone else like yourself, if that's even possible, but that's for another time. We could discuss that. What does it mean that the Torah is not an inheritance? This is an interesting concept in and of itself. Rashi explains that don't say, since my father is a Talmud Chacham, a big scholar, I'm going to be like him. I don't need to exert myself. It's not true. You still need to exert yourself. And the idea over here is that the Torah isn't like inheriting money. When money gets transferred from a father to a son, when the father dies, so the son doesn't have to burn himself. He just gets the money. However, when it comes to Torah, a person can only acquire that through toil. That's a very important distinction between the two. There is actually an interesting story about people that were climbing very difficult mountains, special mountain climbers. And finally, after a lot of time, they got to the top of the mountain. And they found there a 6-year-old kid and another 8-year-old kid. They said, how could you have possibly have gotten up here? So the kids responded, we were born here. So the Sfas Emes explains that this is how he was able to become a Rebbe at such a young age, take over his illustrious grandfather, Chedusha Harem, because he was born into it. Even though you're in a good environment, that doesn't mean that you don't need to exert yourself, though. It still takes effort. What does it mean, fix yourself to learn Torah? Rabbi Yonah explains that a person should decrease his physical pleasures of this world. Don't be overly involved with food, drinks, etc. The wisdom of the Torah will only last within someone who isn't overly indulging. It won't last within someone who's overly increasing his temporary desires. Another explanation, the Tiferes Shel explains that one should fix all matters that prevent him from learning Torah. Includes but is not limited to financial worries, weakness in the body, other forms of pain. Pretend of it as if all of these matters are fixed when you're learning Torah. In other words, when a person learns, forget about everything else. Nothing else matters. What does it mean all of your actions should be for the sake of heaven? Rabbi Yonah explains that even optional activities should be for the sake of heaven. A lot of length over here. A lot to talk about. Eating, drinking, sleeping, relations, conversing, all necessities of the body, everything do it for the sake of heaven. Do it to serve Hashem, or it should be a means to an end to cause us to serve Hashem better. What a Mishnah.